Jaybird 2, this is Jaybird 1. Bring Mama Bird and Baby Bird to the nest. The owl is ready. Use Plan A. Repeat, Plan A.
The owl?
Oh, that's your code name, didn't you know?
Oh, I'm not used to dealing with this sort of thing, Mr. Mendenhall. Are all those guards, the extra ones up on the roof, are they necessary? You know, we've had elected officials walk through this courthouse with just half of this security.
Your Honor, Mrs. Greene's husband is testifying in the federal courthouse today against some very rough customers. We've got twice this much security over there. Now, you'll have to take my word on this one. Jerry Greene is marked for death, and so's his family. We're just taking the necessary precautions.
All right, Mr. Mendenhall. Anything else you need?
Yeah. Throw this case out of court. We got all the problems we need without ex-husbands throwing a monkey wrench into our plans.
I'm sorry, sir, but Mr. Rutherford has every right in the world to ask for his children. After all, if you put them in this witness relocation program, you'll never see them again.
If they're killed, they'll never see them again.
I'm Judge Robert J. Franklin. I chose the law as my way of serving my fellow citizens. As an elected judge in the family court, I pray each day that God will give me the wisdom to always temper justice with mercy.
What you are about to see is a dramatization of an actual case in family court. Because of the emotional and sensitive nature of the issues presented here, Judge Franklin's courtroom is closed to the public. The proceedings are about to begin.
I do. Be seated, please. All right, Miss Page, let's begin.
Your Honor, Brian Rutherford is petitioning to gain full custody of his two children, Nick, age 16, and Sarah, age 5, from his former wife, Lyla Rutherford Greene. Also present is Agent Robert Mendenhall from the Department of Justice.
All right, thank you, Miss Page. Ms. Irving, do you have an opening statement?
Your Honor, Brian Rutherford is being denied his court-awarded visitation rights granted to him 3 years ago. His ex-wife's new husband, Gerald Greene, is an important witness in a federal investigation of union racketeering. Because of this, the government is going to place Lyla Greene and her family in their witness relocation program. Their identities will be changed, and Mr. Rutherford will never see his family again. His children, Nick and Sarah, have the right to remain with their natural father, who loves them very much and would protect them against any possible danger. Your Honor, we must award custody to my client so that he can continue to watch his children grow up.
Thank you, Ms. Irving. Mr. Hall, do you have a statement?
Your Honor, the issue here today isn't a matter of a father's right, but a matter of life and death. At this very moment, in a courtroom 2 blocks from here, Gerald Greene is testifying against a gang of ruthless killers. And because of this, he's been marked for death. And now Lyla, Nick, and Sarah, the family that he loves and who love him, are also in mortal danger because of his testimony, unless they can disappear through the witness relocation program. Now, if Mr. Rutherford really loves his children, he'll let them go. But if he can't see beyond his own selfishness, then we must make the right decision here today and give the Greenes the freedom that we all cherish.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Call your first witness, please, Ms. Irving.
I call Brian Rutherford.
Very well. Mr. Rutherford, let me remind you as you come forward that you have been sworn in at the beginning of this hearing, and you are testifying now under oath, sir. You understand that? Very well. Go ahead, Counselor.
Mr. Rutherford, what were the visitation rights you were awarded by divorce decree 3 years ago?
I can see Nick and Sarah on the weekends, and I have full custody when school's out for the summer.
And when did you first find out about this witness relocation program?
Well, the first time I knew something was wrong was on Sarah's 5th birthday.
And what happened?
Well, I had a really special weekend planned, including a party with 20 of her friends and a clown. Well, the guests arrived, but her mother never dropped her off.
Did you call the house?
Well, all I got was the machine all weekend. I didn't know what was going on. Monday, I called Nick's school, and they said he wasn't there. Same story with Sarah's school. And I still couldn't get through the house. And Jerry's union said they hadn't seen him either. It was as if my family didn't exist. So I contacted every federal agency I could think of, and finally the Justice Department called me.
And what did the Justice Department have to do with all of this?
They're the ones who gave me the lowdown about Jerry, him being a key witness for the feds and the fact that they were protecting him from some gangsters. But I still said I wanted to see my children.
And did they comply?
After I threatened to go to the newspapers, yeah. I was picked up on a street corner, blindfolded, and taken to some house in the country where they were keeping everybody. And they were okay. Then Lyla told me to kiss the kids goodbye because they were going to get new identities in this witness relocation program. She said I'd never see them again.
How did you react to that?
Well, how do you think? I started yelling, what the hell's going on here? And then this guy in charge, Mendenhall over there, took me aside and said, I'm just going to have to adjust to it. Well, you can forget that. I don't buy all this cloak and dagger business, and besides, nobody can take my kids away from me.
What about the danger that your children are allegedly in?
Look, if Jerry and Lyla want to change their names and move to Alaska or Borneo or wherever, let them. I can take care of my kids. I'll hire an armed guard. I'll teach Nick how to use my gun. But I don't know what I'll do if I can never see them again. I'll never see them grow up, and all I'll have for the rest of my life is a couple of photos. That's it. I've thought a lot about this, Your Honor, and I am convinced that children are safer with me than with Jerry, especially if someone is trying to gun for them. I don't want them living with a walking target.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Very well, Counselor. Mr. Hall, your witness.
Okay, Mr. Rutherford, let's say you do take all the precautions. You hire an armed guard, you install a security system around your house, maybe even put some Doberman pinchers in the backyard. But can you guarantee that someone will be watching Nick and Sarah 24 hours a day, everywhere they go?
Well, maybe not 100%, but neither can Mendenhall.
Oh, okay, Mr. Rutherford. If you can't guarantee their safety, wouldn't you at least agree that your family be better off under the protective custody of the federal government to be given a new life in another town if they were indeed in trouble?
Oh, that's a big if, Mr. Hall. If they were in trouble, then I could take...
If they were in trouble. If no one knows who they are or where they are, Mr. Rutherford, then no one can hurt them. Don't you agree?
Look, Lyla has no right. The government has no right to change their lives.
But
like
at
that.
least they'll have their lives. No further questions, Your Honor.
Very well, Counselor. You may step down, Mr. Rutherford. Thank you very much. Your next witness, Miss Irving.
I call Nick Rutherford.
New to brighten your holidays, Lee Press-On Nails brings you new colors. 18 deep, rich, dimensional colors. Cotton candy.
Sample it.
Opal mist.
Mysterious.
Lee Press-On Nails. 18 great nail colors you just press on with undreamed-of ease. Desert mold.
Lovely.
Fiesta.
Lively.
Sugar plum.
Luscious.
40 Lee adhesive pads and 20 Lee Press-On Nails for a perfect fit. Lee Press-On Nails. 18 sensational fashion colors. Press on.
I'm Phil Rizzuto for the Money Store with a great special holiday offer. Now homeowners can get a second mortgage loan as low as 6.5% fixed rate. That means the low interest and payments never change. That's right, 6.5%. Higher ratios and longer terms with low monthly payments are also available up to 15 years. This is a limited offer, so hurry and call the Money Store toll-free. Dial 1-800-221-9000.
Next on the best of the National Geographic specials, a tender portrait of China's elusive living treasure, Save the Panda. And powerful, playful, imperiled. Journey the ocean's depths with the great whales. Two compelling profiles of the struggle for survival on the best of the National Geographic specials.
Thursday at 9 here on Channel 3.
Lots of time left in this football game.
Hey, how you doing? It's freezing out there. It's been a year, man, but close the door.
Come on, cup of coffee and warm your body. Hey, Uncle Dan, whatever happened to that cute little puppy you had
Oh,
last
that
year?
cute little puppy's grown up. He stays in the backyard now. Hey, look at that line hold.
He's in for the end zone with a touchdown.
Animals need warmth and companionship, too.
You may proceed, Miss Irving.
Nick, how do you and your father get along?
Well, we're getting along for the first time in my life. You know, Mom's happy with Jerry, so they don't get in arguments like they used to.
Well, how about your stepfather? How do you get along with Jerry Greene?
Pretty good. You know, Jerry's different from my dad. He's into that outdoor stuff, you know, mountain climbing and backpacking, that sort of thing. Dad, he likes barbecue and touch football, and I guess I do too.
Do you like sports, Nick?
Yeah, I'm starting quarterback at my high school football team. And this spring, I captained the baseball team. Well, at least I was. Mr. Mendenhall said I might not even be able to go out for sports, wherever we end up, because it might be too much of a clue to my real identity.
Well, how do you feel about this witness relocation program?
Lousy. I've got a life. And trying to explain to my sister Sarah's even worse. How do you tell a 5-year-old kid that she's never going to see her daddy again?
Nick, how would you feel if I told you that you were never able to see your father again?
I love my father. Losing my dad would be like, I don't know, losing a part of what I am. Does that make any sense?
A great deal of sense, Nick. No further questions, John?
Very well. Mr. Hall, your witness.
Nick, didn't Mr. Mendenhall tell you that your life and the lives of your sister and your mother were now in danger because of Jerry Greene's testimony?
Well, yeah, but the way I see it, it's Jerry's life that's on the spot, not me or my mom's or Sarah's. I mean, we don't know anything and we didn't do anything.
Well, are you saying that you don't care what happens to your stepfather?
No, I just don't want to ruin my whole life because of his problems. If Mom and Jerry can go live wherever they want, I want to stay here.
Well, now, Nick, you've already told us how you'd feel if you were never able to see your father again. But how would you feel if you were never able to see your mother again?
Awful. I mean, but why should I have to choose? I mean, if the crooks know where the feds are, then why don't the feds know where the crooks are? I mean, why can't the feds put the crooks away instead of ruining my whole life? It's not fair.
No, you're right. It's not fair, Nick. But it is reality. So let me ask you one other question. If you were convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that your life and the lives of your family would be put in real danger if you stayed with your father, would you still want to stay with him?
Well, when you put it like that, I guess not, but hey...
Thank you, Nick. No further questions.
Very well. Yeah, you may step down, Nick. Return to your seat. Thank you. Ms. Irving, anything further?
No, Your Honor. The plaintiff rests.
Very well. Mr. Hall, call your first witness, please.
Your Honor, I'd like to call Lyla Greene to the stand.
Very well. Mrs. Greene, let me remind you, as well as the others, that you were sworn in when this hearing began a few moments ago, and you are testifying under oath. Go ahead, counsel.
Mrs. Greene, please tell us when you first realized that your life was in danger.
Well, it started about 2 years ago when Jerry got elected into the union as treasurer. He noticed that $75,000 a month was being doled off to some company in New York. He questioned this amount of money. He was told by the union that the other person that questioned this money was, well, he met with a car accident. This was the money that was supposed to be held in trust for the pension welfare fund for Jerry's fellow workers. I mean, he couldn't let them get away with this. So that's when he got in touch with the Justice Department.
And is this when you first met Mr. Mendenhall?
Yes, Mr. Mendenhall suspected that organized crime had infiltrated through the upper ranks of the union and management. And he requested that Jerry help out and collect evidence. This went on for about 2 weeks, and then Jerry was caught Xeroxing an important document.
Are you saying, Mrs. Greene, that the union was dealing with organized crime?
Yes, Your Honor. One of his superiors caught Jerry and threatened him. He told Jerry to forget about everything and to tell Mr. Mendenhall that he hadn't found anything. But Jerry, well, Jerry told him to go to hell, Your Honor.
Your husband sounds like a very brave man, Mrs. Greene.
Thank you. And then the letters started coming.
Defense Exhibit number 1, Your Honor. Are these the letters you're referring to, Mrs. Greene?
Yes. Just look at those. The picture with the baby stabbed through the heart, that was the first one we got. I mean, look at them, all of them. Babies dying, children being attacked. And then we got the phone calls in the middle of the night.
And what were those about?
Well, this voice just kept repeating the messages that were on the notes. Things like, where's Sarah now? Or Mommy's going to be sad. And then I got a telephone call from the school secretary. Sarah was missing from school, kidnapped.
What did you do?
Well, I called Jerry, and before Jerry got home, I got a second call telling us to get to Marcy's sweet shop on 9th and Wilson. That's where we find Sarah. And when we got there, we found her with a note pinned on her dress. It said, I could have been dead already. I mean, we had to do something. They were coming after our children. And that's when we called Mr. Mendenhall.
And what was Mr. Mendenhall's suggestion to you?
Well, he said that if Jerry went through with it and testified against the gangsters, that in return the government would offer us the chance for a free life without fear through their witness relocation program.
Mrs. Greene, do you like the idea of the witness relocation program?
But it's the only chance we have. It's not easy leaving memories of your whole life behind, or forgetting everything that you held dear. But it's our chance for a normal life, a free life. How can we say no?
Thank you, Mrs. Greene. No further questions, Your Honor.
Very well. Your witness, Miss Irving.
Mrs. Greene, you say you fear for the lives of your children, but isn't it true that no actual harm has come to any of them?
What kind of question is that? No. Sarah was just kidnapped from school.
The question we're asking is whether this government action is actually warranted, especially since Mr. Rutherford, the natural father, will be permanently deprived of his children.
I don't want the children killed.
So, Mrs. Greene, if it's Jerry Greene they're after, why didn't you turn the children over to Brian Rutherford instead of subjecting them to the violence directed at a man who isn't even related to them?
Those animals can't get us. That they'll go after Nick and Sarah. And I don't care what Brian says. I mean, he won't be able to protect them. I don't care how macho he acts.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Very well, Counselor. You may step down, Mrs. Greene. Thank you. Mr. Hall, any further witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. I call Agent Robert Mendenhall.
Very well, sir.
New to brighten your holidays, Lee Press-On Nails brings you new colors. 18 deep, rich, dimensional colors. Cotton candy.
Sample.
Opal mist.
Mysterious.
Lee Press-On Nails. 18 great nail colors you just press on with undreamed of ease. Desert mold.
Lovely.
Fiesta.
Lively.
Sugar plum.
Luscious.
40 Lee adhesive pads and 20 Lee Press-On Nails for a perfect fit. Lee Press-On Nails. 18 sensational fashion colors. Press on.
Hello, this is Leonard Nimoy with an important announcement. A rare and serious disease called Rye syndrome may strike children and teenagers who have chickenpox or flu. The cause of Rye syndrome is not known, but some studies suggest a possible link with aspirin. So, it's important to consult a doctor before giving medicines with aspirin to children or teenagers with chickenpox or flu. Rye syndrome also occurs in children and teenagers who take other medicines or no medicines. It's important to watch for early signs and symptoms. If a child acts strangely, shows belligerence or excessive vomiting, followed by drowsiness, after seeming to recover from chickenpox or flu, get medical help immediately. Give no medications. Thank you.
Now's my chance. Madam, I have 2 tickets to the Sacramento Opera, and I'd be honored if you'd join me.
Oh, the Sacramento Opera. Oh, I'd love to go.
Splendid. My carriage is waiting. Shall we?
Oh, where are our seats?
8th row center.
Okay.
All right.
Experience superb Grand Opera, presented by the Sacramento Opera Association. For ticket information, call the Community Center box office at 449-5181.
Proceed, please, Mr. Hall.
Mr. Mendenhall, when was the first time you met Brian Rutherford?
Well, I set up the meeting at the safe house in the country between Mr. Rutherford and his family. I explained to him that Jerry had a contract out on his life, and I told him that the people Jerry Greene was testifying against believed in revenge, no matter how long it takes.
Have families in trouble with organized crime ever refused a witness to a relocation program?
Some have. Yes. Some have been lucky, too. Nothing happened to them. Others, well, I brought some pictures from our files.
Mr. Mendenhall is referring to Defense Exhibits 2 through 6, Your Honor, which, with the court's permission, I would like to show to Mr. Rutherford.
Yeah, that's granted. I've seen the pictures. Go ahead.
Mr. Mendenhall, very briefly, what do Exhibits 2 through 6 show?
Murder victims, witnesses in federal cases, and their relatives. Hit because of what they knew.
Do you recommend that the Greene family take on new identities?
Absolutely. Especially after the bomb scare Jerry Greene had this morning on his way to the courthouse.
What bomb scare?
Well, part of the routine of protecting the Greene family is looking under the hood of the car every morning before it's taken out. This morning, we found a car bomb, rigged to go off when the ignition key was turned.
Defense Exhibit number 7, Your Honor. Mr. Mendenhall, is this the bomb you found underneath the hood of Mr. Greene's car?
Yes. Don't you understand yet that the only reason your children weren't with Jerry was because they had to be here today?
Thank you, Mr. Mendenhall. Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Very well. Your witness, Miss Irving.
Mr. Mendenhall, you paint a very graphic picture of what could happen to the Greene family, but you don't know that it will happen, now do you?
No, but I'm not willing to gamble that it won't.
Isn't it true that there have been cases of people who have changed their lives and taken on completely new identities and been executed anyway?
It's happened, yes.
So, when all is said and done, you can't guarantee the safety of Nick and Sarah Rutherford, can you, Mr. Mendenhall?
We do our best.
Thank you, Mr. Mendenhall. I have no further questions.
You may step down, Mr. Mendenhall. Thank you. Mr. Hall, anything further?
No, Your Honor, the defense rests.
Very well. I'm calling a short recess. I'll return with the verdict in a moment.
Attention, Sacramento. Downtown Ford is pounding the competition with the lowest priced new cars. New 1987 Yugos with 10 available for only $43.88. That's right, $43.88 or just $115 a month, and that's with no down payment. So pick up the phone and call 442-6931 today for your free instant credit check. And hurry in now and choose your new Yugo for just $43.88 at Downtown Ford, Sacramento's leading Ford dealer, where we're pounding the competition.
I just put a guy in a cab because he was too drunk to drive. Why me when his best friend is sitting here? I'm cutting your friend off, I said. Drive him home. He said, come on. A few beers? Coffee will straighten him out. Well, I straightened him out. Too much beer or wine can get you just as drunk as most mixed drinks. And coffee's not going to sober you up. So the next time his buddy gets a load on, we'll see how good a friend he is.
Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Since 1857, they have fed the hungry, nursed the sick, comforted the dying, and educated the children of Northern California. They opened one of the first schools in Sacramento, and during floods and epidemics, they went door to door with food and medicine. They keep pace with the increasing needs of our rapidly changing world. The Sisters of Mercy, won't you join their heritage of caring?
When a bag lady comes a-callin', the judge gets caught in the hijinks.
I'll be doing what, Your Honor?
On the judge.
Enter a world of excitement, where fantasy comes to life, where the stakes are high and secrets fly for your entertainment tonight. Enter a world of excitement. Enter the world of entertainment tonight.
Weeknights at 7 on KCRA-TV, Channel 3.
I'm Scott Grimes. What does a kid know about AIDS? I know it's a serious disease that some kids have. But I'm not worried about getting AIDS from them. Because you can't get AIDS from sharing pencils, or school books, or just being around someone. Those are the facts. What does a kid know about AIDS? A lot.
Grapefruit juice? Sure, it's good for you, but...
But to taste? Well, pour on Ocean Spray Pink Grapefruit Juice Cocktail. It's tangy, smoother, sweeter.
Hey!
Introducing Adidas, the fragrance. Crisp, fresh, and very, very masculine. Adidas, the fragrance. Cologne and aftershave for men.
It's sumptuous. It's delectable. It melts in your mouth. And Bluebonnet spread costs less than you'd think.
If that bomb was found this morning, then why the hell didn't you tell me?
If you had known about that bomb scare, you probably wouldn't have gone through with this. And you have something to fight for here. You have a right as the natural father to have custody of your children, no matter what Mendenhall or the government says about this.
I want to withdraw my petition now while I still have my children.
Brian, are you sure?
All right.
Be seated, please.
Your Honor,
Yes, Miss Irving?
my client at this time would like to withdraw his custody petition.
May I ask why, Mr. Rutherford?
Well, I love my kids, Your Honor. If I had to, I'd die for them. I was misled, and I refused to believe the actual danger. Looking at those pictures, all I could see were the faces of Nick and Sarah. And you too, Lyla. I can't expose you to that danger, even if it means I'll never see you again.
Mr. Mendenhall, isn't there some kind of a solution to this problem? Can't some kind of a compromise be reached?
Well, Your Honor, we could make a compromise with Mr. Rutherford if he promises never to ask where the children are living or under what name they're living. We could arrange for him to visit them once a year in a neutral location under tight security.
How would you feel about those conditions, Mr. Rutherford?
I'd take it. Anything so long as I know that Nick and Sarah are okay. Are you sure they'll be safe to do this, Mr. Mendenhall?
It'll be as safe as we can make it.
It seems to be the best we can do. Mrs. Greene, what do you say?
All right. I can't deny Brian the children.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I know that's a very difficult decision for you to make, Mr. Rutherford. And I'm happy that some kind of a compromise could be made. It's very obvious that there's a great deal of love between the people who are here today. Lyla, remember, as you and your family enter the witness relocation program, it's so important to hold on to that love and to nurture it. And Nick, this is going to be hard on you, I know, but perhaps Mr. Mendenhall can find some way to help you at least keep up some of your sports and some of your other activities. And I know how much Sarah is going to be counting on your help to make the adjustment. It's the bond of love among all of you that made this decision possible. Brian, Lyla, Nick, it's clear that you, along with Sarah and Mr. Greene, are still a family. That's wonderful. Good luck to all of you. God bless you. This court stands adjourned.
For a list of organizations concerned about the family issues seen on The Judge, please send a $1 check for postage and handling to Post Office Box 5987, Sherman Oaks, California, 91403.